Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today and we have more Witcher Netflix series screenshots to go over, but this time it's not the colossal train wreck in my opinion that the Nilfgaardian armor was. So if a lot of you missed the previous video I uploaded back in June, we went over a leak for the Witcher Netflix series where it quite literally looked like people were wearing trash bags, and I was embarrassed for them. Now, some had argued maybe that CGI would be put on top of this armor. Some had argued that maybe it's true to the books. Either way, did not look good. But these screenshots we're going to be going over have some flaws, but overall seem to be a lot better than what we've seen so far for the Witcher Netflix series. And I believe also indicates that a trailer will be coming quite soon given the timing of these screenshots, and that this show is slated to release at some point this year. And well, we're halfway through, so it's going to probably be a fall show, which means they need some time to hype it up. Also, if a trailer pops out, I don't know if it's possible for me to do an in-depth analysis. I don't know how the TV side of things works on YouTube, so if someone wants to let me know, fire away down below. But anyway, let's get into the brand new information today, taking a look at these screenshots. So the first one is of Henry Cavill as the Witcher himself, Geralt. And let's take some notes here, because at face value, I think this actually looks quite good, but some have noted there's only one sword. Where is the wolf medallion? What about his beard? And I'd seen a lot of conflicting reports through forums, Twitter responses, the list goes on. Some people said in the case of one sword that he normally leaves his monster killing sword on Roach. Meanwhile, someone also said he spent an entire book trying to get his stolen swords back because they're imperative to a Witcher. Honestly, man, with these conflicting reports, I'm just gonna read the books myself. It seems like there isn't this consistency within people's statements, so I'm just gonna do it myself and I'll report to you guys as I learn. But anyway, that's generally what I'm hearing when it comes to the two swords. As for the wolf medallion, I found this to be the strangest omission. Now granted, this is younger Geralt, okay? Meanwhile, we have seen in the games, which is an older Geralt, that he does have that wolf medallion on his chest, which is a silver symbol of the Witcher's profession. Each one is shaped to represent the school a Witcher comes from. It is sensitive to magic, vibrating and tugging on its chain when spells are being cast or magical beings like genies are present. So it is very important to the Witcher to have said medallion, and there is that same wolf on it, but it's in more of a flat pendant rather than the giant thing popping on his chest that was a very key accessory in his character concept, whether it's the books or not. I still think it was pretty important to note. As for the beard, I don't really care. I could live with or without Geralt with a beard. I mean, how even in The Witcher 3, you could get his hair cut, you could change his facial hair. So I got accustomed to seeing all different types of Geralts thanks to the power of the internet, because everyone was sharing screenshots of it. So for me, this didn't look too off-putting. But overall, when it comes to general concept, the armor, the look, I was a big fan of it. So let's keep going through some screenshots of Geralt. And here we can see what looks like, to me, not the best angle, because I always joked that it looks like a really pissed off Legolas when this was first revealed. But this one genuinely looks like Legolas came in through a portal from another dimension. He's trying to figure out where the hell he's at, man. Like, is he still in Mordor? What is happening? Honestly, though, cool tone setting shot, but I just can't shake that Legolas look. It looks way too much like him from this angle.
The White Wizard approaches.
And here we have Rivia's ass himself, Geralt, from the back. The quote on the top reads, "The worst monsters are the ones we create," a Netflix original series, The Witcher. So I actually like that quote. The worst monsters are the ones we create. That is a touching statement. I think we can all take a little bit of something from that, and hopefully the show decides to dive into that very line, because it'd be interesting if it was more of a people-oriented story rather than Geralt running around and hunting and slaying monsters like a Witcher does. And here, if you wanted a close-up on Henry Cavill's pores as Geralt, you can see a little more facial hair here, but all in all, still nothing crazy different. However, for the rest of the casting, we have very few screenshots, but it's still worth going over. We'll start off with Yennefer. Now, Yennefer is donning a very nice fur dress. I have to say, out of all the character concepts that we're going to be going over today, Yennefer probably is my favorite. I know it's a different take on her, but all in all, I really like the costume design that I'm seeing for a lot of these characters, and I'm a big fan of what they're doing with her. In fact, I didn't see anything stand out about her, and I think that's a good thing. It's exactly how I would imagine Yennefer being taken on in a television environment. So all in all, what else is there to go over? I like it. I think it's a good costume. I think it's a good casting. So let's just move on to Siri. Now, Siri is the one who I have seen across the web draw the most ire. This is supposed to be a young Siri, I imagine somewhere in the teens, and something's off about it. I don't know if it's just the cloak she's wearing. It kind of looks like a lost druid, in my opinion, of some kind. It doesn't really remind me of Siri. And I understand, ladies and gentlemen, that this is, once again, based off the books. This is supposed to be different takes on them. But I feel like if you're going to take from something, whether it is a book or a video game series that is inspired by the books, there still has to be this ability to recognize the character. Like, if someone dropped this picture in my lap just when I woke up and did not put the word Siri next to it and said, "Here, Matt, who do you think this is?" I would have no idea. I think good character concepts are the ones that jump off the page at you, feel different, invoke something in you, but you also know who that character is, if it's based off someone, I mean. And so for me, Siri, I wasn't getting that. That doesn't mean she's going to be a bad character or that they did a piss poor job with her. It just doesn't scream Siri to me. So what it's going to boil down to in that point is the writing, the acting, that type of stuff in the show itself. How are they going to nail Siri that way? Furthermore, we also have Lauren Hisrich, who is executive producer and showrunner for the upcoming Witcher Netflix series. And she went on a tweeting spree about all of the characters, some of her descriptions for them, but she also acknowledges the missing sword. And I don't know if she's being facetious about it or if she's planning on making it a part of the story, so let's dive into it. Yennefer is fiery, proud, shrewd, contradictory, seeking to fill a family-sized hole in her heart even though she resents it and swears she's just fine on her own, but she's not, and we love her for being both independent and vulnerable. Ciri is resilient, relentless, brazen, growing, going to change the world, and what the hell is she supposed to do except be scared and bold and learn and adapt and find a family who can walk by her side no matter what and maybe just teach her the meaning of love. Geralt is stoic, circumspect, balanced, fierce, soft and squishy in a tiny place in his heart that he'll never reveal until maybe the end, and even then it will just be a hint, and yes, he only carries one sword until, wait for it. Then she follows all of this up by saying, will there be a rumble between book lovers and gamers by the end of the day? So I believe if there's anything we can go off of here, remember what I said earlier in the video where Geralt has a book where he's trying to find his lost sword. It seems like maybe that is what this show will be based off of. We'll see how compelling it is for him to chase down his swords, what interesting characters we encounter during this entire conflict, but still interesting and useful information nonetheless to see where the executive producer places these characters, how she views them, and also acknowledging that missing sword. All in all, those are the newest bulk of screenshots for the Witcher Netflix series. I imagine, like I said, sometime within a couple of weeks, we should be seeing a trailer. And that's really what's going to paint a picture for this show, because I've seen a lot of people tweeting and saying, man, I've never been so back and forth on a show. And I think it's because a lot of us really like the Witcher games and we want to love a new part of the Witcher. All I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is if these screenshots are anything to go off of, just keep your expectations relatively low, okay? Just keep them in a moderate place where don't expect to have your expectations blown away, but also don't expect the worst of the worst, because this could be a show that surprises us. Now, I saw an article on Forbes mentioning that they're a little concerned because they did an A-list casting with Henry as Geralt, which I understand a little bit. For me, that video game perspective would be when we saw the Avengers from Square Enix and they had like every big name voice actor and actress sitting there playing as the characters. You saw Troy Baker, Laura Bailey, the list goes on. They're fantastic talents, but you've seen them a lot before where you wonder how much depth went into the casting. So I understand where people are coming from, both conceptually and casting wise, why they should be skeptics. I'm just saying, going with a blank slate. It should be coming soon. I'm really excited to see it. More so curious, I think, would be the best word, and ever so slightly concerned. It'll be one of the few TV shows I actually give a review on my channel. I mean, obviously, Sly Cooper is apparently coming out at the end of this year. There's going to be like a 24-episode season. God forbid we make Sly 5 like I've been demanding forever. We're going to do a Sly Cooper TV show, but it's okay. Maybe that'll lead to a video game. Anyway, I'm rambling off track now. I just wanted to deliver to all of you out there the latest Witcher Netflix news, because a lot of people seem really interested in the Nilfgaardian stuff, perhaps because that was a catastrophe and it seems like chaos just draws a lot of people. Meanwhile, when something potentially good looking comes across, everyone's like, oh, of course it's good. Yeah, right. No one cares at that point. But anyway, I wanted to make sure we kept it fair here. I like the screenshots overall. Some quirks with the character concepts, but I mean, if this show has indicated anything so far, it's like they're not going to make this 10 out of 10 wow show. It's probably going to be like a very average viewing experience, but we'll see. We'll see. Just my personal expectations. Don't mean to project them out there. But anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think of the character concepts? How are you feeling about the Witcher Netflix series? Are you excited, concerned? Where do you sit on all that? Fire away in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.